Hey folks, Eric, the Whatever Guy, because it really is whatever for me. Do you folks want to know about a Florida Senate committee passing a bill to restrict hemp-derived products with new THC limits? You guys stick around, man, and we'll talk about that. As you guys know, man, my name's Eric. I'm the Whatever Guy, and I usually shoot videos a couple days a week, basically keeping you guys updated in the world of Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, hemp, cannabis, just what's going on around. And today, man, sitting around on an early Tuesday morning, or excuse me, I believe this is Thursday morning, looking at this article from over at Marijuana Moment, guys. This is a crazy situation. Like, we have a Florida Senate committee that has basically unanimously passed a bill that they would like to restrict hemp-derived THC products in the future. My understanding is it's like they want to restrict it so far down to like two milligrams per gummy or whatever the case is. It's crazy. Like, it still has got to pass the House and the Senate. In my opinion, I don't believe it will ever get that far, simply because there's just too much economic impact with this right here. Like, I myself have products in a location down at 1308 West 9 Mile Road in Pensacola, Florida, and obviously I'm trying to come forward with another location over at 416 Highway 29 in Cantonment, Florida. And having said that, man, this bill right here, if it goes through the way it sits, would basically kill me before I even get started. Before I even get to a point where I could even compete with what's going on in the industry, we would be shot down. We would basically have to cut ties and basically cease doing business, because who in the world is going to go out and buy a 2 milligram Delta 9 THC gummy or 2 milligram Delta 8 THC gummy? It's just not possible. Like, I personally would have to eat 10 or 15 of them to even get to the point where I want to be, like, to be a more congenial person. I'm someone that uses these products on a daily basis, and I'm also someone that is never going to go down and get a medical marijuana card. Like, I am never going to go down and see a doctor when I can get products like these across the shelf and legally. Like, it's just, I get the products that I need over the shelf from vape shops, from the places I work for, and these products are comparable to anything that you can buy at a local dispensary, like any rec dispensary or any medical dispensary whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I've covered many times on this channel about news articles and things like that of cannabis companies that are actually suing hemp companies because hemp companies could put a higher potency product in their shop than these dispensaries can. And it's just a crazy situation all the way around. So again, I will never go out and buy, or go out and spend the time and the money and spend those exorbitant fees to get a medical marijuana card when I can get everything that I need from the hemp plant. For those of you who don't understand, the hemp plant and the cannabis plant are the same plant. It's just the government has delineated that line between hemp and cannabis, saying that if this plant, once it comes to fruition, has less than 0.3% Delta 9 THC on a dry weight basis, it's hemp. However, what you guys have to realize is that all those cannabinoids are still relevant in the hemp plant. Like, the Delta 9 is still there, the Delta 8, they're just in minute amounts, and they have to extract it to get the distillate and stuff that we want. And having said that, we're going to flip over here to an article over at Marijuana Moment and take a look and see what this Republican senator is trying to do down in Florida. It says Florida Senate Committee unanimously passes bill to restrict hemp-derived products with new THC limits. Let's kick on down here. Ashley Gunn runs a smoke shop in Tallahassee. She says she's thrived since she moved from Seattle to Florida 5 years ago, with profits of more than $5 million from the sales of cannabis hemp products. But if a new proposal when the Florida legislature passes, this would just decimate business, she said on Tuesday. She added that if the caps on THC, the compound in the plant associated with getting you high, on hemp products were imposed, customers would simply buy multiple packages of gummies or would buy higher dose products online from other states. Because here's the deal, guys. Like, as it stands right now, like, if I go into a smoke shop and I can't buy what I want, I'll just buy it online. Like that, I mean, I can get it online and have it shipped to the state, and there's nothing you can do about that. Like you would basically taking the money out of the state with this bill right here. Like, who in the world is going to go in and buy a 2 milligram Delta 8 gummy or a 2 milligram Delta 9 gummy? I don't know anybody that is. And the fact of the matter is if I can't get it to the smoke shop, I'll just order it online and have it delivered to my house. And basically what you've done is taking that money out of the state. And in my opinion, I don't think that this is going to get past the Senate and the House committee, simply because there's just too much economic impact with these products in the state of Florida right now. It's wild out there. Like, there are shops everywhere, and this would basically just kill several $1 million worth of economic impact out of the state. Guy and other hemp entrepreneurs are back in the legislature in 2024, fighting again to ensure they can continue to make a living in the hemp industry. But on Tuesdays, lawmakers in a committee decided to impose restrictions on hemp products and substantially regulate the hemp market in Florida. That was met with strong opposition by members of the industry. But nonetheless, the legislation, SB 1698, passed unanimously in the Senate Agriculture Committee. Keep in mind that lawmakers in the House and Senate need to agree to be able to pass this legislation. The measure is being sponsored by Polk County Republican Colleen Burton. That's who you guys need to be voting out, and that's who you guys need to be talking. Polk County Republican Colleen Burton, who thinks apparently that she knows better for you than what you know better from you. Like, you people that are representatives of us, you need to understand that when you get up to these voting bills and stuff like that, you're not allowed to vote your conscience. You're supposed to vote the conscience of your constituents, the people that voted you in. And obviously they don't have any complaints about hemp derived products going on in the state, but you do. So you're going to pass this bill and basically try to kill millions of jobs, millions of dollars worth of economic impact in the state. The measure is being sponsored by Polk County Republican Colleen Burton. I'll do that again. It would make a number of changes to the hemp industry in the state, which has operated legally since 2019, shortly after the passage of the 2018 U.S. Farm Bill. That bill made hemp production and distribution legal under federal law and allowed states to create such programs. The Farm Bill defined hemp as a cannabis plant with one key difference. Hemp cannot contain more than 0.3% delta-9 THC. The most lucrative part of the hemp industry has involved the production of biomass that contains cannabidiol, a non-psychoactive compound believed to treat health conditions like anxiety, stress, and inflammation. Burton's bill attempts to make several changes to the current law, according to a legislative staff analysis. It would set THC limits in hemp products not to exceed 2 milligrams per serving and 10 milligrams per container. So basically what they're saying is 2 milligrams per gummy, and basically 5 gummies in a pack. Like, I would have to go in there and buy, 4 or 5 of those packs at a time to even get, or just say to hell with it and go online and order it from my buddy Chris and have it shipped right here, right here to the house. It modifies the definition of hemp products that cannot be attractive to children to include containers displaying toys, novel shapes, animations, promotional characters, licensed characters, or other features that specifically target children, or for hemp extracted intended for inhalation, the addition of any flavoring. Okay, so I can almost agree with this right here. I don't know about the hemp extract intended for installation, any flavoring, because obviously I think that would include terpenes, and we would obviously want strain specific type of vape devices. However, I can't agree that we need to start packaging these products less for children. I should be able to set a package of gummies up on the shelf in my house with 4 kids, and they should be able to walk by that just like it's a can of beer and know that it's an adult product and never touch it. Like, that should be the standard thing going on in the house. Like, you can't do alcohol like that. You can't do tobacco like that. We want to restrict these products. We think that our products are safer than those. However, we don't want to put children's packaging. Like, I don't want my kids ever to ask me, is that an adult product? Like they have in the past, and it's gotten to the point where they understand now. But having said that, I don't want any kids out there grabbing these products. And obviously you can't overdose on these products, but what you can have is an anxiety or panic attack, and that will get a kid really messed up. Requires an organizer hosting a hemp event to provide the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services with a list of the businesses selling or marketing hemp products at the event, and verify that each business is only selling hemp products from an approved source. The event organizer must ensure that each participating business is properly permitted. Says that hemp extract may be only manufactured, delivered, held, offered for sale, distributed, or sold in the state if it meets a number of requirements. Speaking in support of the proposal was Dr. Justin Arnold, the medical director of the Florida Poison Information Center based in Tampa. He said the bill would have a lasting and life-saving impact on Floridians across the state, and that in the past few years, 3 poison centers located in the state have watched exposures to hemp extracts result in more harm than ever, particularly in our children. And I noticed that he doesn't throw any numbers out there. I noticed that he doesn't throw how many people were actually affected by what he's talking about right here. Like these guys right here, man, they are completely ignorant about what is going on in the hemp and cannabis industry. It's crazy that we still have doctors that are now in a position where they are basically fighting for hemp restrictions. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But the overwhelming majority of public speakers blasted the proposal, saying it could potentially cripple the burgeoning hemp industry in Florida, and urged lawmakers to kill it. Vinny Sudeth, with the company Cushy Pies, and it was arbitrary for lawmakers to limit THC dosage of hemp products. These limits would put a significant burden on businesses and stakeholders in the hemp industry. Regulating such products would increase the production costs, limit the product options for consumers, and hinder the growth of the hemp market, ultimately having a negative impact on the economic opportunities and consumer choice. Randy Rimber is a hemp farmer who says he is just now starting to make a profit after nearly 5 years. He asked if the intent of the measure is to protect children. Why aren't child-proof protections being considered on hemp products? Why don't we put correct doses on bottles just like Tylenol, just like ibuprofen? Last year, Burton and Manatee County House Republican Will Robinson originally produced a bill that set THC limits not to exceed 0.5 milligrams per serving size and 2 milligrams per container. After receiving harsh feedback from hemp entrepreneurs and advocates, the proposal, those levels were raised to 5 milligrams per serving or 50 milligrams per pack. Then the limits were dropped entirely, and the measure simply prohibiting hemp-derived products such as Delta-8 THC from being sold to anyone under the age of 21. But lawmakers seem determined to set such limits this year. Pinellas County Democratic State Senator Darrell Rowson said he understood the concerns of the members of the hemp industry, but didn't completely buy the idea that they'd go out of business if the proposal were to become law. I hear that this will eliminate small businesses and require thousands of them to close. I do reject that notion. I think there should be some regulation, and I think that what this calls for is a slight change in business model as opposed to a complete closure. Like, I don't understand. Like, this guy's completely ignorant too. Like, give him a fucking business and let us kill him through legislation and see how he feels. Like, he's sitting completely on the other side of it. Probably never ran a business a day in his life. He's done nothing but been a fucking politician his whole life, and he's going to say that I hear that this will eliminate. I do reject that notion. You've probably never run a business a day in your life before. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy statement for this guy to make. You guys need to understand that this is Pinellas County Democratic State Senator Darrell Rowson. Okay, like, that's the guy that needs to go. One of the guys that needs to go. Several of them need to go, apparently. Burton said it was the legislature's job to consider the safety of all Floridians, children and adults, and that it superseded the bottom line for the hemp industry. We have a greater obligation to the health and safety of Floridians than the business models that are currently undertaken here in Florida. Like, dude, it's not your job to protect our children. It's the parents' job to protect the children. Like, this is completely crazy right here. This is what happens when big government gets their friggin' hands in the pot, guys. They are basically raising our kids, telling us how we can do with our kids and everything else. And here we go with this right here, basically telling us, deciding what is good for us and what is not, man. Just free the plant, man. Free the plant. All right, folks, whatever, guys, signing off, and I'll talk to you.